Hello everybody, this is Rodrigo starting this live here about Tableauing Alteryx. Just a fun name to start a little work on it, where I'm going to try to explain a little bit what I know about Alteryx and hopefully everybody can take advantage. So before we start, I'm going to share this on Twitter. Let's see if people will come up. If they don't, they can watch the recording. Okay, so let's start here. So moving from the slide into Alteryx. Okay, so the idea here is how to make a workflow that you can get a lot of data from Google Analytics and avoid sampling. So what do I mean? So when I work with Alteryx, I try to start from the lower level, like the more detailed information, and then I move up to building a generic workflow. So I'm going to start this workflow. I'm going to use the Google Analytics here. So I'm going to start by going to connectors, and I have here Google Analytics. Okay, so I have all my I can go my credentials as well. I'll try the online just for this workflow. If I have it, I don't think I have it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cheat because this is not the goal of this exercise. The goal here is to show how to do the flow that I meant, so how to get data from Google Analytics. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick this workflow here, which is basically what I need. But from here, I just want this tool. Okay, so I'm going to copy this tool here. I'm going to cheat a little bit because I don't know all those codes from top of my heart. So I'm going to paste this tool here. So this is the Google Analytics tool. As you can see here, there is a lot of stuff that are already set up, and you can copy this, especially the metrics and goals and the dimensions. So what I'm doing here, I'm picking the page views, the sessions, the bounces, the entries, exits, time on page, new users, and the session duration. Because I learned with these metrics and the Google Analytics API just allow this amount of metrics to come. With these metrics, I can build other metrics like bounce rate or time on average time on page, because this is time on page, it's not the average. Normally we report the average time on page, and we report the average session duration. So with all these metrics, we can get to a level of detail that we want to report. And then the dimensions for this, I'm getting the page path, so basically the URL. I want the full URL, and then I can break this page paths into path 1, path 2, path 3, like Google Analytics have, just by splitting by the backslash. And then I have the country, I have the source and where this is coming from in terms of search, direct, etc. The host name, I don't need the host name for this, so I'm going to change very quick. The city, the category, and the time of the event. Okay, so I don't really need the host name, so I'm going to change it really quick because I prefer for this data source to get the title. So if I get the title, I'm over the limit, so I'm going to remove the host name. Next. None. So this is all that I need, and if you see here, I'm putting only 1 day of data. I'm getting from 29th of January 2020 to the same day, because when I run this workflow, it goes really quick because I'm only getting 1 day of data, and that's the trick that I'm trying to share with you here, is that if you get 1 day at a time, you see the workflow will get 17,000 rows, very detailed, with the city disaggregation, then you have the device category disaggregation. So I have a lot of disaggregations that we can use country, city, etc. But most importantly, it's very quick. And how long it took? Let's see here. 11 seconds. So imagine if you throw a lot of single dates to Google Analytics, if you throw a month, you can get 30 days plus 11 will be 300 seconds. You're going to get a lot of data in less than 5 minutes. Okay, so how we can build this in Alteryx now? How can we create this macro? It's pretty simple. So I'm going to the interface. I'm going to throw one control parameter because I need to get, oh god, sometimes you work with a trackpad. It's not that easy. So I'm going to the control parameter here at the top. I'm going to drag it here. And I like to give what information is coming from my control parameter on the name here. So I'm going to do start date. All right. So this will be the start and end date anyway, but I'm putting only the start date here just because I'm going to pass only one date to this tool. So if you're not very familiar with Alteryx, so and you know Tableau a lot, so parameters are very important also to Alteryx. But they, like similar to Tableau, they don't do anything if you don't tell them what to do. So if you go here and pick this little, if you drag here, pick this little magnifying glass, and you drag not to the magnifying glass, but to the little thunder icon, which is to create an action. So this will create this little guy. So this is the action tool. So I'm going to give an action to this parameter to change this tool. So basically what I'm going to do with this first action is to change the start date here. So see, I'm going to open this and I'm going to change the start date. So, and if you go here at the bottom, you need to replace this specific string. I like to activate just to be sure that I'm replacing exactly what I want. So this control parameter will bring me a date. That date will go become an action that will update the start date here. Okay, so that's what I'm doing, this start date. Okay, so I'm going to do it again. I can come here and drag another action because this now will be my end date. Okay, again I'm going to click here to activate this little box so I'm sure that I'm replacing the right thing. So what I did here, I picked the end date and I'm saying, look, Alteryx replace this date to the value that comes from this tool. Okay, so what I can do here, just to make this a little less busy, I can select the both tools, right click, and making outgoing connections wireless. So it gets a little less, and also the income, so it gets a little less crowded with all these lines that is very confusing. So I'm going to change this, just this label here, so it looks nice. I'm going to add in the annotation. So I went here to the tool and I click this annotation icon. So I'm going to say that this is a start date and this here is the end date. Okay, so now I can grab them together. Now you see the tools are getting a little more cleaner. I can drag this a little down here so it's in the middle. I can just say date here, and I'm going to say that instead of control parameter, I'm going to say dates. And I'll place the annotation on the left. And there you go. Formatting. Who doesn't like formatting in Tableau? So we like formatting in Alteryx as well. Okay, so basically this is all that I need. Of course, I need a macro output. So I'm going to put the output here. And I like to give a little abbreviation to my output. I'm going to add here, this is a O. Okay, so it shows in my, this is going to be a macro, so it shows in my macro what's going on there. So let me align this right here so it looks nice. Okay, so how do I test this? So in Alteryx there is something called View and Interface Designer. So go to the View menu, Interface Designer. So it's going to open, I prefer to open in a new tab, and then I can test this. So I can come here with any date. So let's try yesterday, 2020, 11, 27, okay? So there is a button here on the right to open the debug. So this is kind of going to simulate that action. And here we are, a very simple workflow now. There is no tools here, no parameters, no actions, because luckily, if I did everything right, we should see the dates here. Yes, so the dates are here, and there is now an output browser tool. So if I run this workflow, I'm going to pick only the date for yesterday, only the records from yesterday. Hopefully this will be quick. Like the other one was 11 seconds, so let's see how this one goes. Yes, it's coming now, the data, 34,000 records very quickly, 19 seconds, so good, the macro is working. So I'm not going to save this, I'm going to close this, and I'm going to save this macro now. I'm going to save as, and I'm going to say, I don't know, Alteryx Designer. So I'm going to say Google Analytics collection. Let's say this. Okay, so this is my Google Analytics collection. I'm going to leave it open so I can open a new tab. And now I'm going to add the macro here. Here it is. See, I have my entry and my output. So what I need to do now, I just need to create text input. It can be only. And then I can put in this text input some dates. 2020, 01. Okay, I could go and put 100 dates here, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to do, because I'll cheat a little bit, I'm going to open Excel. Okay, so in Excel I'm going to create an input file that has a date. Okay, 2020 0101. Okay, and then I'm going to scroll to almost here. Let's go here, how many months, how many days we have, 265. So we're very close to the end of the year. So here it is, today, yesterday. So I have all the days of this year. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to format these cells in Excel. I know I can do that in Alteryx, but I never learn yet. So when I know better, I'll do it for that. Okay, what I mean in Alteryx, I could put one date and the last date and create the records in between. I think I could do that, but I'm going to do in Excel right now. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to pick all these dates, Ctrl C, paste. Here we are. This is my new input file. So I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to pass this here, though they connect nicely. So again, I think the input file, yes, I have all the dates here from the 300 and something dates. So I need to configure this tool, so I can put a date here, and now I can put a browse here. Of course, it's going to take a long time. A year should take like half an hour or something. So what I'm going to do, I'm going just to put a filter tool here. Let's put a filter, here it is. So I only want the dates for this example to be, yes, this one. So I'm going to put like the first month of the year, 0. So I want to, in fact, I want to be less than. So let's do like 0, 1, and 10. So I'm going to do the first 10 days of the year. So it'll be like the first 10 days of the year. And now I'm going to run the workflow. I'm going to pick only those 10 dates, pass to the macro, and then get the output. So let's see how that goes. So see, I'm sending 10 records to Google Analytics. Now Google Analytics is processing, and you can see here that the first record already gone, the second, the third. You see, it's pretty quick to see the outcome and the data flowing in. I think the first few days of the year were very slow, but then we're going to see some data coming now. And that's basically it. If you, I did this, I can tell you I did this for this same source, this same tracking in Google Analytics, and I got data from 2013 to this month. And it took basically 3 hours to do that, so not that bad. If you leave it at night when Google Analytics is not very busy, it will be much faster. And now the last one, here we are, 93% ready. So I just got 100,000 records or transactions from Google Analytics. And you see I have all these dimensions and metrics here to play with now. And of course I do some cleanup. I can break this page path in several. I can do some calculations to get especially bounce rate, exit rate. There are some calculations, and I can look here in the internet if you see Tableau, Google Analytics metrics. I think I searched this before. And let's see if you get quickly, just I can share this link. Get good on I know there was a blog in the community, Tableau Google Analytics metrics bounce rate. I think we can, let's see, bounce rate, not matching Google Analytics. This was the issue. Some people are getting the bounce rate, and then there is an option to calculate it. Let's see if I find. Yeah, see, this is one of the ways. So you have the bounces, you have the sessions, so you can calculate the bounce rate. But there is a website that has this. So let's try to find it. Let's see this one. Now this is Now this is very generic Tableau thing. It's not the blog post that I was looking. Oh, here maybe. Yes, this is the one. So Tableau workaround blog post. Yes, there is a knowledge base item. I hope it still works. Yeah, see? Yes, so there is this knowledge. I'm going to put this in the comments on this video so you can see. So there is this useful measurements. Yeah, so I'll put the two links. You see, there are several ones, but if you're only tracking website page tracking, you see here, if you get entrance and page views, you can get this metric. Entrance bounce rate, so you can get this metric. Bounce rate, you do this. Then there, depending on the version where you are, page and sessions. Again, because the Google visits, I don't think exist anymore. So now the metric will be bounce divided by sessions. So you have the percent exit, so exit divided by page views. So you see there's a lot of metrics you can do. However, because Google Analytics cannot give you all these metrics at once, so it's pretty tricky if you want to avoid sampling. And I can tell in this workflow, if you see here, there is no notice of sampling. So I'm getting the granular data at the level that Google Analytics can provide according to the metrics I selected in the macro. Okay, so I'll put this comment in the video. Really thank you if you watch this in the future. It's my pleasure. Please send me any questions that you have. And this is the first Tableauing with Alteryx. Okay, have a good day, everybody. Bye bye.